Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to give you the basics on how I made this 2-tier semi-nude rose themed cake, including arranging the flowers and a few tips that I've learned along the way. Let's get started. The first thing I did was stack all my layers in the bottom tier using the actual color of icing that I wanted to show through onto the cake. You'll want to take that extra few seconds to make sure the cake is stacked very evenly, as the cake will show through the icing this time. Do the same thing with the other tiers on the cake. I did my tiers different colors of pinks and peaches. Next, we're going to flip the cake upside down like I always like to do. To do that, you're going to drop a dollop of buttercream over the top and spread it evenly over the top of the cake. Then you're going to place a piece of wax paper over the top of that and smooth out any air bubbles. Next, we're going to take a cake board and place it over the top of that and flip the cake upside down. Definitely use a level to make sure that the cake is very level. With it being a semi-nude cake, any unevenness will show. Do the exact same thing with all tiers of the cake. Next, you'll want to spread buttercream evenly over the sides of the cake. While the cake is still upside down, use your bench scraper to take 1 or 2 passes around the cake to remove the excess buttercream. Then flip the cake back over and remove the wax paper. Then you can use your bench scraper to take another couple passes around the cake until you're satisfied with the amount of cake showing through the buttercream. Do the exact same thing with all tiers of the cake. I like to use the cake board as a guide when removing icing with my bench scraper, but if you feel like enough cake is not showing through, you can use your bench scraper just inside the cake board to get a little bit closer to the cake. Here I'm just using a cake pan to mark the size of the top tier so I know where to place my straws for support. When measuring your bubble tea straws to cut to place inside the cake, it's best to measure them against each other as opposed to measuring them against their place in the cake, since the cake is not always even no matter how hard we try. I piped a super simple bead border around the border of both tiers of my cake. The last thing left to do was arrange the flowers. This can be a little overwhelming, but one thing I've learned in a flower arranging class was to start with your largest flowers or the statement flowers that you really want to put the emphasis on. From there you can work to the smaller flowers and then fill in all the empty spaces with greenery and buds. I know right here my video is a little bit blurry, but you'll see in just a minute I'm inserting some linen covered floral wire through the base of the rose and then bending it in half and sticking that down into the cake. Filling in the spaces with all the greenery is what really makes it come together. Once you're satisfied with the top tier, you can move down the cake. Here you can see the floral wire trick that I explained a minute ago. Again, I placed my 2 biggest flowers and now I'm filling in the buds and the greenery. On the bottom tier, I really wanted greenery going all the way around the cake, so I took some floral wire and sort of bent it into a U shape, and I'm using that to kind of pin it to the side of the cake. I wanted it to look loose, so I didn't want to glue it, but I wanted it to stay in place. Once I was satisfied with the greenery, I went ahead and arranged the flowers on the bottom tier following the exact same patterns. Larger flowers, followed by smaller flowers, and then greenery. And then I had a few extra small buds and flowers that I placed wherever I saw fit. Here was the finished product. On a pretty simple cake, it's pretty beautiful. Thank you so much for watching, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know if you liked it by giving me a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thanks so much.